District of Highland Park is hereby called to order at 6:05 p.m. 16 here at Westridge Center. Could we please call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein?
Here.
Commissioner Flores-Weiskopf will not be with us tonight. Commissioner Kaplan?
Here.
Vice President Runtenberg?
Here.
President Myers?
I'm here as well. We still have at least 4 of us, so we have a quorum. We can proceed with business. Any changes to the agenda requested by any of the commissioners? Okay, is there any public comment on any of our items on the agenda? Okay, well, moving apace. Brings us to our consent agenda. You see items A through H, all of which have been either discussed at prior meetings or provided with backup information in our board packets. Any requests to remove items from the consent agenda? Could I get a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Could we call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Aye.
Vice President Runtenberg?
Yes.
President Myers?
Aye. Consent agenda passes. We have no unfinished business, bringing us to our treasurer's report. Director Curtis.
Good evening, everybody. Okay. The treasurer's report is as of September 30th, 2016, and it's really nice to be able to say that operation performance overall has been rather strong. Overall revenue is ahead of budget by $419,000. Programs continue to be the strongest in that area, but also memberships are outpacing 2015, so this time last year, by about $37,000. That's a combination of Hidden Creek actually falls into there as well. Their memberships were a little higher this year than in prior years and higher than budget. And then, of course, the rec center is doing great with their memberships. And Deer Creek has had a nice strong return at the start of their tennis season. So that's all good news. Overall, expenses are lower than budget by $2.5 million. And I know that sounds like a lot, but most of it is due to the timing of capital projects. We had budgeted for projects in 2016, but because of the time it took to work through the planning process, those projects aren't going to be starting until 17, so those dollar amounts will be rebudgeted in the 2017 budget. And just a quick note, the Finance Committee met and reviewed the 2017 budget, which will be presented to the board at the November workshop, after which it will sit open for the public for 30 days and then be approved at the December meeting and then subsequently filed with the county.
Terrific. Questions? Since we're all at the Finance Committee meeting, I suppose we're all pretty much up to speed on
I know.
all of those things.
Yeah, it's very fresh.
That's slightly more than 24 hours ago. Okay, great. Thank you. Glad to see
Thank you.
nothing has deteriorated in that 24 period. New business, Camp 2016 reports. Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. So like Scott said, I'm here to talk about our 2016 camp season and what we have to look forward for 2017. So as always, we partnered with NSSRA and School District 112 to provide a really great summer. We provided extraordinary experiences to 1,187 campers in 25 different camps. And of those campers, we were happy to provide 46 of them scholarships through our grant and aid program. Our 2016 season kicked off with a really great marketing campaign put together by our communications department. It was centered around an action movie theme. So our initial camp campaign pieces featured old-fashioned movie theater, marquee posters, and live action movie posters that were everywhere. We also used these campaign pieces to alert the public that we started with an earlier registration date last year. So we moved registration in 2016 from January, when we originally used to do it, to November, which had a great turnout. This resulted in 23% higher earlier registrations than the year prior. For the first time last year, we also hosted a camp reunion. So we did this a little bit as a marketing piece, but also as kind of a thank you to everyone who does participate in our camps. So in January, we invited all of our previous campers and our new campers to the rec center. They had the recreation center all to themselves after hours, so they were swimming. We had inflatables donated from Mutual. We had pizza for them, so we had a lot of traditional camp games going on. This event kicked off our countdown to camp and also closed out our early bird registration discounts. Throughout camp, our Come Explore slogan was really highlighted. We did a lot of unique activities throughout the Highland Park area. Of course, we loved visiting Rosewood Beach as much as we could. We spent a lot of time at the Heller Nature Center Teams course, and of course, Hidden Creek Aqua Park is always a big hit with the campers. A lot of our campers had the opportunity to travel outside of Highland Park. They did overnight adventurous campouts in Michigan and Wisconsin. A lot of campers enjoyed kayaking and trying the new stand-up paddleboard trend. They loved doing that, and they even went horseback riding, rock climbing, pretty much anything a kid could imagine. As registration for Spotlighters really soared, we made a lot of adaptations to make sure our new campers had a really great summer. So we hosted an on-trend undernighter. So what that meant was the campers got to stay at camp for extra long time. They stayed at camp till about 6 p.m., just the Spotlighters did here at Westridge. So they had a DJ come just for the campers. They had manicure stations, all kinds of girly activities. This year it was an all-girls camp. And they had a really, really great time. Just kind of getting that extra time with their counselors was one of their favorite parts of it, too. Additionally, one of the big improvements we made to Spotlighters was adding professional sound equipment to the final show, which was a great improvement so that our audience really didn't miss a thing. They could hear all the lines their kids had and all the great songs. As always, our camp program would not be complete without our CITs. This year we had a really great group of CITs. They worked really hard to add extra special experiences for all of our campers, and not just for our campers, but they also performed service projects for children throughout the Chicagoland community. They worked with a program called Cradles to Crayons, which meant the CITs worked really hard to get donations from all of our campers for items to pack in backpacks to help these underprivileged children thrive in school and at home and in recreation settings. So they were able to send over 150 backpacks filled with all kinds of supplies to these kids. So we were really proud of them for organizing that. All of our campers participated in giving back to the community through our penny collecting contest. So just by collecting pennies at our different camps, all of our campers raised over $1,500, which went to our Smile program. So we were really happy about those generous donations. Of course, the success of our camps really rely heavily on our staff. So all of the full-time staff came together and we screened and hired 200 really qualified camp staff and directors. We had a really great team this year. We had a high retention rate, but we also hired a lot of new kids that we hope to see back next year. We changed our in-service training a little bit this year. We hosted it at the Highland Park Country Club, so it was a nice change of pace. The staff was more comfortable. We had more space to kind of spread out, do team building activities, and they really enjoyed the change of pace, especially our returning staff. So with 2017 right around the corner, our marketing department is working really hard. So I have some pieces to show you what you can look for throughout the community. This year, we really want to show the community that our camps are really established. They've been around for a really long time, and so we're going for nostalgia, tradition, all of the things that camps really represent to us. So we're using a lot of kind of vintage colors in all of our materials. So these are up right now, just kind of letting everyone know, yes, we know it's October, but camp's right around the corner. So this is kind of our first phase, just letting people know, oh yeah, what's going on with camp, it's coming up. We were really happy to receive some really heartfelt and thoughtful comments from our parents in our surveys. So we wanted to highlight some testimonials we got. So our teaser campaign is out right now. Chris, our graphic designer, created these really beautiful photos that are actually from camp and then did an overlay with some of our testimonials. So these are all different colors with different quotes from our actual parents. And then, of course, we integrated these themes into our social media campaign to make it a little more interactive and invite people to share more stories. The part that we're most excited about are these photo scenes that are going to be in the third phase of our marketing. They're going to be about 4 feet tall. And the reason there's this cutout here is so people can take their photo and use this hashtag at the bottom, Find Your Camp, to share what we're doing at the Park District on their social media as well as with ours. And then we just, of course, throughout the facility, we want to make sure everyone's seeing our camp. So we have these vintage, artfully designed posters for all of our different camps. So look for all of these pieces all over the Park District and all over all of our social media. We're making additional updates, not just to our marketing, but of course to our programming. So with registration right around the corner, we are looking forward to, of course, our marketing campaigns and also our updates. We're really having the parents in mind this year as well as our campers. So one thing that we're doing to make sure the parents get a good first impression of our camps is to update our parent manuals. So they're going to be delivered to the homes in more of a brochure format with very consistent information, easy to find important information, phone numbers. If you have kids in multiple camps, it'll be easy to access that information. We're also going to kick off camp with a meet and greet event at Hidden Creek Aqua Park called Splash Into Camp. And this will invite parents to come get their last minute questions answered, get their first day jitters out of the way, and of course let campers meet each other and their staff. We really had a great 2016 and we're looking forward to 2017, and I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Great, thank you. Questions from the board?
I just have my annual comment that not only do we as a park district do a great job with our camps and with the children that attend our camps, but it's also hearing about the high retention rates of the counselors and the growing that the counselors do during the camp season, providing some responsibility and things like that. Is that I don't know what the percentage of Highland Park residents, but I'm sure it's very high. I assume, isn't it, for the counselors?
Yes, for the counselors, most of them are from Highland Park.
Which is an amazing. So it's a great thing for not only our children but our young adults, for them to learn. And so if anybody's listening and they have some young adults from high school or into college next year, that if they want the experience of being a counselor at the Highland Park at the Park District of Highland Park, it's a great experience. I recommend that they contact the Park District, and it's a great avenue for them to learn and also get paid at the same time.
We're taking applications starting in December, so we're ready.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next topic is Rosewood Hidden Creek Aqua Park Year in Report. Julie. Julie?
That's nice.
I got it.
Liza's taking care of it.
You can introduce Brett, though.
Yes, I will. Was planning on that one. You guys haven't met Brett Sprague is our recreation supervisor of aquatics. So he started for us back in May, right at the very start of the season, literally like 10 days before the opening. And he oversees our indoor pool, water park, beach, swim school, all of that under my supervision and the new manager's supervision. So he's got a big job. We had another good season, safe one at Hidden Creek and Rosewood Beach. Opening day was Saturday, May 28th. Closing day, Monday, September 5th, Labor Day. And that was 101 operating days. Overall, we had good attendance at both the beach and the pool. Weather was good this past summer, better than in the past. We actually had 65% of our days over 80 degrees this year, 16 days over 90 degrees, and that compares to 2015 where we had 2 days over 90 degrees. With that,
So that was a shout out to global warming.
yeah.
There are some benefits.
All right.
Well, if 14 and 15 were any indication, that was, yeah. We did offer another Groupon this year, 2 daily admissions for $14 or 4 admissions for $27. This year we sold 2,065 Groupons. Last year it was 3,300. And that was recognized for the Park District this year as over $22,000. I'm going to hand it over to Brett.
Sure, I'm going to go ahead and talk about our staffing levels for the 2016 season. So this year we had 108 seasonal staff members that worked between Memorial Day and Labor Day. That includes our desk staff, our maintenance staff, our lifeguards, our head lifeguards, our seasonal supervisors. Of those 108, 72 of them were certified American Red Cross lifeguards, which includes the lifeguarding module, a water park specific module, a waterfront specific module, and then CPR, AED for the professional rescuer, as well as administration of emergency oxygen. We held 3 mock rescue drills throughout the summer. 2 of them were at Hidden Creek and 1 of them was at Rosewood. All of those were done in conjunction with the Fire Department of Highland Park. So we worked with them in order to make sure that we were working as cooperatively as possible and as effectively as possible. And then we also had a PowerPoint session with one of the battalion chiefs on how to work together in the situations of emergency calls. We successfully passed 7 lifeguard observation audits and an unresponsive rescue scenario, and all of that was conducted by an outside agency called Ellison Associates.
Hey, a little bit of update on Rosewood for this year. We did reconfigure the striping parking layout in the lower lot, so that helped traffic flow through the lot a lot better than it did the year before. We also had new signs in the parking lots to help the residents and non-residents with what stickers, vehicle stickers, decals, hang tags that they needed to park in each of the lots. So these new signs had actual pictures of all of them rather than written words saying what they were. So people were able to just drive in and look at it and go, oh, okay, this is, I can park here. Daily parking passes for non-residents. We did increase the price from 2015 to 2016. In 2016, we sold 292 hang tags, and in 2015, we sold 725. We also had Rosewood Beach picnic rentals this year. So there's a picnic pad down to the south end of the boardwalk with 2 picnic tables on it. We were able to rent that out, and we had 11 reservations for this year, and that was with just really having it in the brochure. We also had the stand-up paddleboard rentals through Windward Board Shop. It was very popular. There were 125 stand-up paddleboard rentals throughout the summer. It was well received by the public. We had a lot of good comments, and Windward enjoyed it and would like to come back and possibly add more time, add more days.
So in 2015, we sold a total of 507 season memberships for Hidden Creek Aqua Park. And then in 2016, we sold 585 memberships, so it was a 15% increase. And a lot of that can be attributed to the warm weather we received, especially right at the opening of the summer. It really helps drive those memberships home. 220 of our memberships were sold at a discounted rate, which is a total of 38% of our memberships compared to 2015 when 46% of our memberships were sold at discounted rates. So 36 of those memberships were sold during our Double Dipper sale, which is a sale we do during Labor Day weekend. So in 2015, we did our Double Dipper sale, and that revenue went towards the 2016. And then in 2016, we did the Double Dipper sale, which will go towards 2017. We did 169 early bird discounts, which was 15% off from the end of February until mid-March. And then we sold 15 late season memberships, which was 40% off and began in the middle of July. At both facilities, we were 100% successful in all of our rescues that were performed throughout the summer. We had 49 rescues at Hidden Creek, and those were for patrons ranging in ages from 2 to 42 years old. And then at Rosewood, we had 5 rescues for children ranging in ages from 3 to 9 years old. And again, we were 100% successful on all of our rescues.
Good.
That's the most important
I
thing.
would hate to have found out that was not the case today.
Yeah,
Might have come up
certainly.
earlier.
So we're gonna go through some of our recommendations for the 2017 summer season. So at both facilities, in regards to staffing, we are starting earlier and more assertive recruiting efforts in order to find more lifeguard applicants and employ more lifeguards. We're increasing our pay rates and looking at some possible other incentives for our in order to increase the number of lifeguards we can employ. And we are reintroducing a pool attendant position. And then we are going to continue to provide joint training for our lifeguards with the Highland Park Fire Department.
Hey, going on Hidden Creek, we are approaching the 20th anniversary of the pool opening. So staff is working on coming up with planning for an event, hopefully to take place somewhere around the original date of the opening, and to work with communications on really promoting that and getting people to come in and using posters and Facebook posts and web page information to put out photos and fun facts about when it was planned and built and all of that kind of stuff. I think it'd be kind of cool to have the community see that. We also will be painting the interior of the pool again, as well as painting the original play structure that's in the splash pad and the pools and falls feature in the zero depth area. And we're also investigating the replacement or repair of the 20-year-old sound and PA system to ensure that that system continues to work. So for emergency purposes, we have that PA going.
Has the technology changed much in the 20 years?
Yes. Just a little. Some things for Rosewood Beach. We're looking into usage and parking fees for the upcoming season for non-residents. We are also looking at improved signage down on the beach for patrons to have information about swim bans, for high wave conditions, and for water quality, along with the no lifeguard on duty signs, so that when our staff leaves the beach for the day, when there are bans, that signage is still up along with the no lifeguard signs, so that people know, even if it says swim at your own risk, that there are conditions that they shouldn't be in the water. That's it. We look forward to having another great season next year and new staff on to help out with that.
Any sense of the reaction to the new?
Oh, it is cup time.
To the new amenities at the Aqua Park?
What's that?
Any reaction to the
frog.
Any insight into the public's reaction to the new features and amenities?
Yeah, no, it's great. People love the splash pad. It's fantastic, especially the people with the little kids. We had a lot of people who noticed the slides. You know, they come in and just the facility itself, the cleanliness, the appearance, that it still looks really nice for being the age that it is. Get a lot of comments on that.
That's good. One of the reasons we moved the sand was it was impacting the pool. Did we accomplish our goal by doing that?
Yes, definitely. The pool is 10 times cleaner than it ever was. We don't spend hours at night cleaning it, and it looks fresh and clean every day just from normal upkeep, no extra upkeep. And the filters are running great. We got the new pumps and everything with the new features, so that's all just, it's running great without that sand. It's fantastic. We love it.
I like when a plan comes together.
It's working well.
Excellent.
Anything else?
Can I make one comment?
Mhm.
Cal did a nice commercial for camp counselors,
Mhm.
and an issue that is more critical than the hiring of camp counselors, I think, is the hiring of lifeguards. And this is a trend that is not just in Highland Park, but this is a trend that is really becoming nationwide. It is becoming more and more difficult for public agencies to find qualified lifeguards. You know, we will certify, we will do everything, but it used to be a job that really didn't have issues filling lifeguard slots, but this past summer was the most challenging summer for any of us. And when we talk with our colleagues in park districts everywhere, we're all having the same issue. One of the problems that we have is that private clubs, they're paying double what park districts are paying, which is a bit of an issue. But it's just not a go-to job for kids anymore. And as I say, we obviously are focused on Highland Park and all of our surrounding communities. We're all seeking the same kind of kids. So we are adjusting a little bit of our pay scale so that we are competitive with our neighbors, so that we don't, we certainly don't want to be at the bottom. And frankly, to maintain the staff that we need, we want to be as competitive as we can be. So I'm just saying, this is something that we will start recruiting. I mean, it's constant because we have the pool at the rec center, which is a staffing issue. So I'm just saying this now, and you may hear it throughout the course of the year, but if you know kids that want to be lifeguards, we will train you, we will pay you. But it has become an issue that we are all talking about, and how we deal with it. It's a struggle, but we're trying to get the edge on the competition.
Do I assume we're working with the high school and the swim team and the diving team, trying
You-
to actively recruit them?
If they exist, we've tapped into them. I mean, it's just, it's tough, so we will continue to meet the challenge and do what we can
That
do.
doesn't make sense. How can there be such a disparity in pay? The market shouldn't be that diverse.
Well, if it can vary from, if somebody's paying $1 more in the public world. In the private world, at Midtown, at private country clubs, they can pay whatever they want. I mean, we could too, but it's, when you're talking, we're talking over
The cost of
100.
labor is the cost of labor. Why would there be different prices between public and private lifeguards?
It's your need.
Both my kids lifeguarded, and they made more money.
It's a lot easier to guard at a country club also. I mean, if they don't need as many, so they can pay more. We need 120. So this is a new phenom for us, but as I say, it's not just us. And there are only so many kids to go around that want to do this. But it is something that we are on top of, and
Yes, in fact, we just had an aquatics team meeting the other day, and we're working out, more strategies, just trying to brainstorm new ideas, coming up with a game plan, and we all have different parts of it that we're going to work on over the next month or so in the recruitment process. So, we're digging in and doing everything we can, but it's tough.
Yep.
It's tough right now.
So just, that's the gloom part of the report, but
Mm.
it's reality, and so we are dealing with it. So if anyone wants to become a lifeguard, go to our website.
Your mom?
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director's report. Liza.
Okay,
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
tomorrow night, we have our, one of the biggest special events that we host throughout the year. Experience will take place at Sunset Woods Park from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Lots of great activities planned, lots of inflatables, lots of scary scenes, and new this year, we will be having a large screen, an inflatable screen, so that the Cubs game will be aired while kids are doing their thing
For Cubs game tomorrow night?
Yeah, I heard that they're in the World Series for the first time in 71 years. So we better be on top of that. So at any rate, that event takes place from 6 to 9. We are selling wristbands in advance here at West Ridge and at the Rec Center and at Highland Park Bank and Trust, who is one of our sponsors, so you can get a $5 discount if you buy before tomorrow night. But we are looking forward to a beautiful night, great weather, good Cubs game, maybe a win, and So staff will be engaged in that all day and night tomorrow. On the Halloween theme, on Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon, we're having a scary skate at Centennial, so if you dress up, you skate for free. And Saturday evening from 6 to 8, we are having a Monsters Bash at Tennis, so we stick with the Halloween theme for the weekend. And those are really the special events for the weekend. Kathy alluded to camp registration will be coming up in early November. Our winter registration starts November 16th. And that is, we have basketball now also starting November 7th and the feeder program December 4th. So I do also want to introduce tonight and have him come up. We have hired a new manager at Centennial, our manager of ice and aquatics. His name is John Pratcher. And we will ask John to come up and say hello and give you a brief overview. But we're excited to have John. He's experienced the North Shore. He worked at Northbrook. So he's been in a couple of park districts in his lifetime, and we're excited to have him.
Thank you, Liza. Thank you, everyone, for having me tonight. Yeah, so as Liza pointed out, I joined the team with approximately 10 to 11 years of progressive supervisor experience, in which I've managed a variety of facilities and programs and staff. So very excited to be part of the team here at Highland Park and work together to provide the best possible service for our community.
We're delighted to have you.
Thank you.
Is the Zamboni fixed?
It is.
You're off to a good start.
Yeah, so, thanks, John.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, no, we need the interpretive dance.
I gotta rehearse. I'll come back at the end.
All right.
Almost over, so you better hurry. So, and last but not least, Rosewood completed its sweep of awards, and 2 weeks ago, Friday, we were at the Grand Ballroom at the Navy Pier. This is the American Institute of Architects, the Chicago division, had their awards dinner that night, which was a really nice event. And I have to say, the competition with which we were compared to was really quite something. So.
Who was it?
Oh, and there were 10 award winners, 10 to 12 award winners, and there were 4 categories. And we were the Distinguished Building, which is the highest honor of the 4 groups. So I have magazines that highlight, they show all of the award winners. But the competition was either architecture, yeah, it was international. So it was if it was a Chicago firm that built a building in another country or state,
Oh, wow.
they qualified, and then architecture that is done in Chicago. So it was a pretty cool event. It was very nice, and it was safe to say that Woodhouse and Tanucci, they actually received another award that night for another an interior design that they did. But they are well thought of in the architecture industry. That became obvious that night. But it was a great honor. So Rosewood won the Restored Beach in America. It won the Illinois Park and Recreation Association Facility of the Year. It won the Chicago Building Commission's Construction Project of the Year, and it won the American Institute of Architects. So that's really quite a feather in
And
our
other than that,
cap.
it was a terrible idea. We never did that.
We picked
Yeah.
a terrible team.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Just a god-awful project. The
Yeah.
glass house that would fall into the lake.
Yeah.
Well, following up on what Liza was saying, I think it's really important to note that the competition for this award was international. There were buildings in Beijing, in Singapore, that we were competing against that also won, and the competition was totally international, so that it's a compliment to our architect and the vision of our staff in working through the process.
Well, as long as we're hearing compliments, it really is a compliment to the Rosewood Beach team, the community team that put together the project, did the design competition, and selected Woodhouse Tanucci. So we're sharing information with them as well, I assume.
Yep. Yes.
For a distinguished building, does that mean just the one building, the interpretive center, or is it the
It's
entire?
the entire project.
Right. Okay, well, that turned out
So
well.
Not the
was-
entire, is it just the buildings and the boardwalk, or is it the entire project?
It's all of the, it's the
Architectural
non-army, yeah, it's
on the
really
arm-
the non-army corps, but it really is one project. And they, in their, judges' comments, they commented on the boardwalk and how it defined the beach from one end to the other. I mean, it was very neat. I mean, and they had all of the winners, they showed on a huge screen, and some of these buildings were amazing. So.
Is there red
was-
carpet?
No,
No.
no. But the MC was, one of the Ponce boys, so
Oh.
that was, but it was a lovely evening, and, you're right. I mean, I think that the idea of having the, design competition for the architectural firm was really, that's what produced Woodhouse and Tanucci, because we wouldn't have just found them on our own, so that worked out great, and the Rosewood Task Force. So, thank you, everyone, and, Woodhouse and Tanucci was a gracious host, so, and, W.B. Olson was there as well.
Well, as I'm fond of saying, building Rosewood Beach was hard. That's all I got. Anything else on the report?
No, I think I've covered everything. If I missed anything,
Gentlemen?
Nope.